Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another future match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be round 4 of my online Discord tournament between Jaxo MS on Megalith Drytron versus The Kind on Dogmatika Madolche. So if you guys would like to play in the next tournament, definitely go ahead and check out the link to the Discord server in the description box below. But let's go ahead and get started here without any further ado. So it looks like Drytron's going to take the RPS win and going to choose to go first here. So the opening hand for Megalith Drytron is going to be Red Ice Fusion, Ben 10, Alpha, Full, and Gamma. So also on the Red Ice package, which is pretty interesting. We haven't seen this too often, but this hand definitely is quite strong. No hand traps if they were to go second, but not a problem because they did win the RPS, so pretty good. And then the opening hand for Madolche Dogmatika is going to be Punishment, Angeli, Extravagance, Skullmeister, and Hcabe. Interesting to see Extravagance over Prosperity in this deck, especially with the Dogmatika engine. But definitely some players are still opting to go for this card over the Prosperity here. But has a hand trap for going second. Hand traps are always a little bit awkward in Madolche just because of Petting Sussur. But this is still a pretty reasonable hand, I would say, because Angeli is still a pretty solid combo. But they're going to start with a copy of Alpha. That's going to pitch Ben 10, summoning itself. And then Alpha going to search Ben 10, and then Ben 10 gets the effect. That's going to be Meistered. And then going to link that away for a Link Rebo. And then going to activate Gamma, going to tribute away the other Ben 10. Going to summon itself and then the Alpha back. And then Ben 10 triggers for a copy of Manju. And then going to normal summon Manju, use the effect to grab Meteonis. And then they're going to activate Meteonis straight away for a copy of Megalith Full. Full going to activate to add back Ben 10, making itself level 6. And then Meteonis going to add back itself by targeting the Alpha. And then Full going to tribute away Ben 10 to summon out Ophiel from deck. Ophiel and Ben 10 both triggers, so going to grab Natasha, and then Ophiel going to search for a copy of Bethor. And then they're going to link 4 for a copy of Appaloosa, and then pass. So this is 4 negates, 4 monster negates potentially, plus a Full to pop up to, it has to be different names, right? Yeah, different names. So this can pop up to 3 if I'm not mistaken. So pretty good. I'm going to activate Extravagance. Actually, depending on what gets tributed, it could be 4 pops. But Extravagance is going to be activated. It's going to banish 6 and then draw into Magically and Deity Crow. Definitely not bad. Although getting Petting Sussur doesn't really do anything because of the Meister Engrave, right? So we'll see how the combo is going to... Oh, just kidding. There is no combo because that's going to be an immediate concession. Fair enough. I guess the hand just wasn't strong enough to play through the board. So going to move now into game number 2 here. Looks like Dogmatika Madolche is going to be going first. So the opening hand is going to be Deity Crow, Double Nadir Servant, Angeli, and Mageline. So this hand looks really good. I'm curious to see what the Nadir Servant is going to accomplish in addition to the combo. I would say that it's a little bit awkward because I believe Petting Sussur also locks you into Madolche, so that does kind of conflict with the Ecclesia. But I'm curious as to how these archetypes, I guess, work together if they do. And then the opening hand for Megalith Drytron is going to be Ben 10, Zeta, Natasha, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and then Megalith Full, the ferocious dragon with a deadly attack. Ooh, so no hand traps, no disruptions, just the engine cards going second. They're going to start with a copy of Mageline. That's going to grab a search for Petting Sussur. I'm just going to read this real fast. You can't special summon for the rest of the turn except Madolche's, yeah. So if they opt to use this here, that doesn't really allow for the Nadir Servant to get anything super profitable, but they're going to choose to go for it and then summon out Angeli from deck, and then going to overlay for a copy of Glass Souffle, and then going to Angeli tribute itself for Hcabe, and then Hcabe going to banish the Angeli for the Messengerado. It should be banished. Messengerado going to add Salon to hand. Yeah, that's definitely important to banish this. Going to go activate Salon for a potential additional normal summon, but they're going to go for Nadir Servant. That's going to send Wind Pegasus at Ignister, and then search for Ecclesia. And then they're going to end phase, activate Glass Souffle. That's going to target itself, and then shovel back Petting Sussur into the deck with its other effect. And then Salon triggers, setting the Promenade. So this was basically just a Madolche turn. The Nadir Servant didn't really do a whole ton here, but there's a couple of interruptions. Has Graveyard Disruption, which is great against Drytron, plus Promenade, plus Deity Crow. So this should be fairly strong, especially with the 1 brick. Virginia, the top deck is going to be Ash right on time. So it's going to be tough to play through the board, I think, for Drytron here. Zeta effect, that's going to tribute away the Ben 10. Going to chain DD Crow on the Ben 10, so that way it can't activate. Zeta summon itself, and then go for Meteonis. I don't really know what you do from here. Gonna activate Meteonis. Gonna chain Glassiflay in response. Gonna target Hcabe. And then gonna chain Promenade to bounce the Meteonis, or rather to negate the Meteonis by bouncing the Mageline. So that's pretty good. And then Salon's gonna activate, as well as the Glassiflay. So Glassiflay gets a trigger to shuffle back the Meteonis. And then going to... Okay, so Glassiflay also shuffled back Promenade, and then you declared Salon, so that gets to resolve too for another copy of Promenade. Going to normal summon Ash, and then go for Verity Anaconda. Right, we did see Dragoon. So Dragoon going to hit the board here, probably. Yeah, I'm going to send Red Ice Fusion and materials to summon out Dragoon. And then the effect is going to pop the Glassiflay, and then going to pop the Messenger Lotto, get shoveled back in. Actually, it's going to be hard to out this Hcabe, because it can't be a red battle because of Angeli, and then it was also made unaffected by card effects because of Glassiflay. So this card actually just doesn't die. Yeah, it's going to be a pass. This is shovel back in the end phase of your next turn. Just got to make sure. Draws Ghost Bell for turn. So looking pretty good for Madolche. They just have to play against 1 singular negate, which is not very hard. Gonna switch the Hcabe to attack, and then use the effect. That's gonna banish Glassiflay for the Messenger Lotto. Gonna use the Messenger Lotto effect. That's gonna grab Chateau. And then they're gonna activate Chateau, and then going to activate Mageline after normal summoning it. Just gotta make sure. I just gotta make sure also this targets, right? Yeah, that's why they didn't use the Wind Pegasus. But Mageline going to grab a search. Oh, just kidding, not grabbing a search here. So gonna overlay for a copy of Tiramisu, and then gonna go for Nadir's Servant. That's gonna send the Fossil Knight. Oh, looks like a misclick. Gonna send Titanic-Clad, and then search Fleur-de-Lis. So this is pretty good. Now they have multiple outs to Dragoon, because Fleur-de-Lis can out it, and then Tiramisu can also out it if there is a Madolche card in the graveyard. So they're going to normal summon Ecclesia, and then use the effect. That's going to grab a search for punishment. And then they're going to try and activate Tiramisu, but there is no card to target on activation. So it's similar to a card like the Gusto Emerald, right? If you have 3 cards in your graveyard, that's the activation requirement, like just to have that graveyard set up present. And then you can detach one, and then you can at that point target whatever you just detached. Similar case here, where it's like if you, provided you have at least 1 Madolche card in your graveyard to target, you recycle the one that you just attached. But of course, if there are no targets previously, you can't use it. So yeah, you can't use it yet. So you're gonna have to use Promenade first. So you're gonna target Verity Anaconda and Hcabe, and that also triggers the Salon. That's gonna set the Promenade. This should just be bounced, right? Unless it's... Oh, wait, no, it's negated. I'm sorry. Bounces the Madolche. Okay, so looks like Tiramisu going to activate. I guess that was just a bunch of misclicks there. But yeah, now it activates since Promenade's in graveyard, detaching the Messenger Lotto, and then Dragoon going to be used to negate it, and then going to chain Fleur-de-Lis to negate that. So Tiramisu does resolve. Yeah, this does send for cost. So Tiramisu going to shovel back Promenade and Messenger Lotto, and then shovel back both monsters, and then go to battle phase. This is definitely a game. Yeah, so definitely kind of a weird set of turns there, but Madolche pulling it out for sure. So now we're going to move into game number 3, where it looks like Megalith Drytron is going to go first again. If you guys are enjoying this video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. Also, just want to quickly shout out my patrons before we move into game 3. So thank you for supporting the channel. The long form and consistent content is made possible thanks to you guys. And if you do want to help support the Patreon, definitely go ahead and check it out in the description box below. But the opening hand for Megalith Drytron going first in game 3 is going to be Prep, Dark Magician, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, Ben 10, Manju, and Alpha. So strong hand for sure, aside from the DM, of course. But Good hand. And then the opening hand from Madolche going second is going to be Extravagance, Angeli, the Ash Blossom, Call by the Grave, and Skullmeister. So 2 hand traps, but this hand is definitely going to be able to push past them. Unless, yeah, I think it's going to not matter. They're going to start with a copy of Alpha, tribute away Benten, and then going to summon itself, and then Alpha Search full, and then Benten going to be Meistered. Then they're going to normal summon Manju, use the effect that gets ashed. Shouldn't be a big problem here though. Going to activate Prep, that's going to grab Benten. And then they're going to link for Anaconda. Actually, that cut off BDOnus access, so that was pretty good. Verite Anaconda going to be used. It's going to pay 2,000 and then some materials to summon out Dragoon. So this is just Dragoon. Pretty beatable, actually. So going to be passing on that. The top deck's going to be DD Crow. Extravagance is going to be the first activation, of course. It's going to banish 6 and then draw into Petting Accessory and Nadir Servant. Again, this is like where the conflict comes in, where you have monsters in grave now. Let's see what was banished. So it's Double Entis, Chocolate, Alamode, Tiramisu, Skull Knight, and Wind Pegasus at Ignister. So the only real play is Angeli here. I guess Nadir Servant as a follow-up. Gonna normal summon Angeli, use the effect attributed. That's gonna be negated by a Dragoon. And then going to Nadir Servant, send Titanic to add Ecclesia and then special summon it. And then use Ecclesia effect. That's gonna grab a search. And alright, I guess that's the end of the match. I didn't expect that to end that way. Again, I watched these replays quite a while back, so I forgot how they went down. But I guess they sided out Fleur de Lis, and they just couldn't out Dragoon. I'm not sure if it was worth scooping per se, because they had Call by DD Crow, and that would have been very, very strong. Or actually, was that a top deck? I did not actually pay attention. Yeah, so they had admitted defeat, and then oh yeah, they had Call by, and they had Call by and DD Crow. Right? Yeah, they had those. Or this one in hand to start off with, and then this was drawn for turn. So if they had Fleur de Lis to out the Dragoon, that would have been good. Because Dragoon didn't actually gain 1,000 attack here. Because Angeli treated itself at cost, so it didn't destroy the Angeli, so it's still in 3k. And then Fleur de Lis could just crash with it. So that would have been strong. I guess it was just sided out, which is unfortunate here. Probably would keep it in against like a Dragoon, at least engine. But regardless, that was still a pretty interesting match for sure. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and creative Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon TCG player, all the links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.